Okay, the May 9th meeting of the Greenwich Township Land Use Board is called to order.
This is the regular meeting of the Land Use Board of the Township of Greenwich. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, in that a notice was published in the Express Times and Star Ledger newspapers. Notice was posted on the municipal bulletin board in the Township Administration Building in Greenwich Township, New Jersey, and notice was filed with the Township Clerk.
Roll call.
Bruce Williams,
Here.
Mark Scuderi,
Here.
Paul Beam,
Here.
Joseph Giacello,
Here.
Brian Baylor informed me that he'd be a little bit late tonight. Kathy Cullen,
Here.
Gary Hill,
Not here.
I hear Mike Finelli and Gary Hill.
sounds like
What?
Gary.
Well,
Gary Hill.
doing a roll call.
Gary Hill, are you
And I
here?
said, I believe.
Let the
Here.
record show that Gary Hill arrived 1 minute late.
Here. Party. Joseph Piama,
Here.
Jeremy Blunt, is not going to be in attendance tonight. Andrea Sherlock, here. George Bradlaugh,
Here.
Dana Parker. Bob Graham,
Here.
Board Attorney, Mr. John Drill,
Here on Zoom.
Board Engineer, Mr. Mike Finelli,
Here.
and Board Planner, Ms. Kendra Lely will not be in attendance tonight.
Okay, so the only one we heard from Jeremy's one, right?
Yes,
So,
Jeremy is not gonna be here, he let me know, and Brian's running a little bit late.
okay, so I need a motion to excuse Mr. Blunt. Gary, second.
Gary, Joe?
Joe.
Mr. Bruce Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Mark Scuderi?
Yes.
Mr. Paul Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Giacello?
Yes.
And Ms. Kathy Cullen?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Piama?
Yes.
Mr. Gary Hill?
Yes.
Miss Andrea Sherlock?
Yes.
Mr. George Bradlaugh?
Yes.
That's 9.
Okay, first order of business is adoption of the flag sheet, sorry. Please rise for the flag sheet. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first order of business is approval of the April 11th meeting minutes. And I wanted to, you didn't actually change that, did you?
Of course I did.
Did you?
Yep.
Not on this copy.
Or.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to mention that this is what I was talking about here. Is in terms of it, they weren't really absent, they were recused.
Okay.
Is that proper, John? That,
That's correct. If they're recused, they're not absent. They couldn't participate.
In the whole meeting.
there
Well,
really wasn't anything
the
else.
reason that they didn't come because they were going to recuse, didn't make sense to be there for the rest of the meeting. So you could say recused from whatever application and their absence is excused from the remainder of the meeting.
Okay, I can change that.
And I just want to note, I see that I was marked as in attendance and I wasn't here last month, so we'll probably have to make that edit.
Andrew's not here.
I guess not. But we missed you.
That's okay, yeah, I don't know, somehow I missed the email
And Mr. Chairman, was our planner here last, I thought our planner was here last meeting. It didn't, that doesn't note it in the,
Yeah, she was absolutely here because, yeah.
Yeah, she was here.
Well, let's just say either way. Yeah, there's no mention was here mentioned actually.
no, it doesn't say.
She should be on there as
No.
She's done
That's
it.
And also, oh, yeah, also, okay, I see.
Okay,
All right. Are there any
so
other,
Andrea was not recused. From the application, just Brian and George were recused.
Dana was recused from the application because she was not in the previous meeting,
But she was here.
but she was here.
It wasn't that she was recused, she wasn't eligible to vote,
Eligible to participate.
Okay.
That's-
and the other board member recused himself to avoid an appearance of a conflict of interest with the applicant's attorney.
That was me. That was-
Right.
Right. Okay, so. Yeah. Andrea was not here. Dana was here.
Brian and George were recused.
Brian James Recurs and,
Kendra was here.
but Dana could not participate because she was not eligible,
Okay.
but we don't have her on the eligible come that in, so.
That's. Okay.
Any other,
I will perfect.
any other changes or suggestions for the minutes?
Now, I'm just gonna suggest that you do this on a roll call vote so you can get the yeses, the nos, and there might be a couple of abstentions from the people who recused.
So first of all, I need a motion to adopt the minutes as revised.
Yep.
Mr. Gary Hill. And a second would be Joe Piana.
Mr. Bruce Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Mark Scuderi,
Yes.
Mr. Paul Beam.
Abstain.
That's
Mr. Joseph-
correct. Yep,
Joseph Chicallo,
Yes.
Ms. Kathy Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Fiamma,
Yes.
Mr. Gary Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Jeremy Blunt. He's not here. And then Andrew was not here. Ms. Dana Parker is not here, and Mr. Bob Graham.
Yes. No, wait, Kathy, you weren't here last month, right?
I was here.
She's not here.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I was thinking-
No, you're probably confusing it with the other names listed. Amy and I went through that earlier.
Okay, we're good.
so what was the vote to adopt? I heard one abstention.
The yeses,
Yeah,
7. Yeses,
okay, got it.
1 abstention,
Yep,
2 were absent, or 3 were absent.
yeah, but the three that are absent should all be abstentions.
No, they're absent now.
They're absent now.
Oh, okay, got it.
They are not here.
Okay.
Tonight.
I think we're having practice here or something.
I'm not.
Okay, adoption of resolutions. We have resolution 2401, McDonald's USA. Any words on that, John?
There's only one last revision that has to be made on page 25. It's not being adopted on April 11, obviously, it's being adopted tonight, May 9.
I did change that on the one that was passed out to the board members.
Ah, okay.
Good job. Oh, yeah. May 9th.
Nice.
There it
The
is.
people that are eligible to vote on adopting the resolution are listed on page 25. So one of those needs to make a motion, 1 seconds, and then a roll call of the people on that list.
I make a motion.
That was Mark,
It was Mark,
I will second.
Gary Hill,
Gary, right? Bruce Williams,
yes.
Mark Scuderi,
Yes.
Joseph Chicallo,
Yes.
Joseph Fiamma,
Yes.
Gary Hill,
Yes.
Jeremy Blunt is absent, and George Bradlaugh.
Yes.
Wait a minute, don't know why. So
There were some changes.
That was
which I emailed.
Earlier version.
That was emailed to you earlier today.
aha, okay. All right, great. So Amy, once you sign this, send me the last Word doc version, even if you already sent it, and sent me the signed copy tomorrow, please.
Okay,
Okay.
however, we've also been informed that that McDonald's is not up to date on their escrow.
Oh,
And-
correct. Right. Bruce, I forgot about that. So, right, so the suggestion is that the board make a motion recorded in the minutes, even though the resolution's been adopted, to direct Amy not to sign it, not to send it to the applicant, and not to publish notice of its adoption until the escrow is out of the red and into the black.
Now, do we have all the bills from the professionals in on this?
I think you have all mine on McDonald's. Although they're gonna go to construction, and then obviously there'll be additional monies that will need to be posted,
Yeah,
but
you have all of mine, but you should be asking for the typical refill of the deposit, not to bring them to zero, to
Right,
bring them to like, a balance of $2,000, $2,500, or if Mike thinks more, because this is, there are gonna be a bunch of his inspections here.
so after John's and Kendra's bills are paid and your submitted ones, how much more do they have to have in there? Mike? And it's not a blank check.
I know that, I've gone through this many, many times. It's, and there isn't that much from an inspection standpoint on this project.
Mike, give him a figure. How much should they ask for to be up above zero? $2,000 or more?
That's it, that's what I was gonna say.
2,000. So,
Okay. So I need a motion from the board to instruct the secretary to not sign and not publish the resolution, and what was the other thing?
and not to mail it to them.
Not to mail it to them until,
Right, and to advise them that she's not doing any of those things until they bring their escrow out of the red and into the black in X amount. And X is going to be determined by taking the bills that are already in. Kendra and my bills are already in, and whatever bills Mike's are in, and then add, there should be a $2,000 balance in the red, in the black, after the payment of those bills.
okay,
Yes,
so
okay,
we have a motion.
I will motion as he stated.
Gary
Gary. And a second, I'll second it.
and Bruce. Mr. Bruce Williams.
Yes,
Mr. Mark Scuderi.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Chicala,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Fiamma,
Yes.
Mr. Gary Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Jeremy Blunt is absent, and Mr. George Brethel.
yes,
Amy, the only thing I ask you to do is, unless you tell me you've already done it, including the May 9th date, if that's the resolution, and that's a Word doc you already sent me, you don't have to do anything else. If any other changes you have to make, just make them and send me the Word doc tomorrow.
I think that's just, yeah, that was already made, that change.
Okay,
I corrected the names that were voting tonight, and then I corrected the date to May 9th.
all right, thanks.
That was emailed to you earlier.
Thank you.
okay. Next item is a discussion of recommendations. It's a master plan consistency review of ordinance 104, 2024, and ordinance in the Greenwich Township of Warren, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, amending chapter 16 zoning, section 17 to B1, neighborhood business zone, permitted uses of the township Greenwich Municipal Code to add microbreweries as a permitted use, master plan consistency. Now, for you, John, Paul mentioned to me earlier that this was actually supposed to be B1 and B2.
I was gonna bring that up.
Well,
Okay,
that's, looking, I can tell you, that's not our problem. That's the township committee. That's going to be a substantive change. They're going to have to reintroduce this.
so
but
I guess
you-
that's the question, is do you do what's here in front of us, or we just table it and?
You have to do what's in front of you. It was referred to you.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
You have to do it, and you can say in there, you can make your recommendations. Kendra made a recommendation. If you agree, you make that recommendation. But if the township committee then wants to add another zone, that'll be up to the township attorney, but 99.9%, township attorney's gonna tell them that's a substantive change, and they're gonna have to reintroduce, and you guys are gonna see it next month.
okay,
Just let the record show that Brian Baylor just walked into the meeting.
okay, so I'm sure you may not have had a chance to review it, but you did get a letter, an opinion letter from Kendra Lilly, our board planner, regarding the consistency of the proposed ordinance. And in short, because I guess microbreweries aren't mentioned anywhere in the master plan, she has indicated that it's not inconsistent with the master plan. And because that's about all there is to it. She didn't need to be here. You can ask a question. I'm not sure if I can answer it. Maybe John can. Gary,
Yeah, I gotta, especially now that it's including potentially B1 and B2.
well, first of all, just to be clear, what we're talking about right now is B1 only.
That's
Okay.
right.
And in B1, there are already gas stations there. And there are prohibited use according to.
This is not a gas station, right?
It's adding.
No, I think Gary's just making the point, John, that there's existing non-permitted uses in the zone. That, right, Gary?
Yes.
That, the gas station at the corner.
Okay,
Stations are, that's all. I didn't-
okay.
Yeah.
How does that apply? Well, just that it's a prohibited use. It's kind of odd what we have there, and we also have an auction facility there as well. Dennis Auction Services is in B1.
Are they pre-existing or something, or?
Well, no, they're very pre-existing in both cases. They've been around a long time.
So that's,
Oh, yeah.
Any operations which require fabrication, assembly, or other immediate processing of goods or sale to the public. What is the asphalt plant? They had a hardscape business there for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean,
I
the
just,
asphalt plant is more of an industrial type of use. I mean, that's not permitted also. I mean, yeah, the stretch along 57 that you're pointing out, a number of these uses is probably got 25 to 50% of the uses are not permitted. Right now, per the current B1
and
zone.
are we hurting ourselves by continuing to list them as prohibited uses?
well, again, that's an ordinance. That's really doesn't fall under us. You know, that's the township to either clean up the ordinance or I don't get rid of things, but our job right now is just one thing. It's a master plan consistency review. The township has proposed this ordinance and Kendra Lilly has given us an opinion that it's not inconsistent with the master plan. Beyond that, it comes down to your votes. I think it's on the general election.
I have a question. What determines inconsistency under the approved and prohibited? Like where you stick that?
I don't understand ask that question again?
And either. So I'm trying to understand, so brewery is proposed to be put under the approved things versus the prohibited uses, right? What determines the inconsistency in the master plan as to where that goes?
No, it's not where it goes. Is there anything in the master plan that would indicate that a brewery should not be a permitted use in the township? If there was such something in the master plan to that effect, let's say there was some statement against having bars or liquor stores or wineries or something like that, then maybe Kendra would say, well, there's things in the master plan that allowing a brewery would be inconsistent with. Or you take the other end of the spectrum. If there was something in the master plan that said, you know, we think there should be microbreweries, then you would say this ordinance allowing that is consistent with the master plan. What Kendra is saying is there's nothing in the master plan, one way or the other, that would have any relevance to permitting breweries. Therefore, in her planning opinion, having an ordinance amendment to permit microbreweries is not inconsistent with the master plan. I happen to agree with her opinion because there's nothing in that master plan that this would be inconsistent with. So you can't say it's consistent, but there's nothing to say it's inconsistent. So you would say the double negative, it's not inconsistent.
Okay, so I'm getting more confused. I'll ask this anyway. So under prohibited uses, under 12, it talks about operations or other immediate processing of goods and sale to the public. Isn't that a microbrewery? They process something to sell. It's under
Where are you
the
looking, Kat?
prohibited number 13, 12, I'm sorry, operations.
So
which
stop,
require-
Are you citing the master plan or the ordinance?
The ordinance.
I don't know, whatever that's the ordinance.
The ordinance.
Well,
The
there's a
ordinance.
there's a big difference, because the master plan consistency review, you only look at the master plan. You're not looking at things that are permitted or prohibited in the ordinance. You're looking at what does the governing body is in charge of the ordinance.
Right. Mhm.
The planning board is in charge of the master plan. So the referral to the planning board is to ask you guys, hey, guys, you adopted the master plan. Does this proposed ordinance amendment, is it consistent, inconsistent, or not inconsistent with the document that you adopted, the master plan? If you, let's say you said it's inconsistent, the township could still adopt this ordinance. There's just, they'd have a higher voting provision, and they'd have to give a statement of reasons of why they were adopting it, even though it's inconsistent with the master plan. From a legal point of view, the planning board should not be reviewing this proposed ordinance amendment against permitted and prohibited uses in the ordinance. That's not what the exercise is about.
Yeah, I just thought it contradicted each
Yeah,
other. That's
thought the same thing.
Confusion, thank you.
I thought the same thing.
Well,
So
the
it's under
double- the
permitted
double
use of a
negative
brewery, but
confused.
inconsistently it's under the prohibited because of what they do, so.
Yeah, but inconsistent with what?
The ordinance itself, I'm saying.
I understand, but that's not the issue. That's not for you guys. That's for the governing body. Now, if you think, right, that industrial uses of all sorts, and you think a microbrewery is an industrial use, then you could make a proposal to amend the master plan. But right now, as it stands, I agree with Kendra. There's nothing in that master plan that this is inconsistent with. I'm not in favor of or against a microbrewery. I'm just saying that your job under section 26 of the municipal land use law is to look at this proposed ordinance and view it against the master plan that you guys adopted, not anything in the existing ordinances.
Any more questions? If not, I need a motion to deem the ordinance not inconsistent with the master plan.
Very good, very good.
Mark?
Mark? I'll second. You have this?
I think when.
Yeah, when Brian walked in, you got, so I'll second it. Geez, my big opportunities.
Mr. Bruce Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Mark Scuderi.
Yes.
Mr. Paul Beam,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Chicallo,
Yes.
Mr. Brian Baylor,
Yes.
Ms. Kathy Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Fiamma,
Yes.
Mr. Gary Hill,
Yes.
Ms. Andrea Sherlock.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next thing is management of escrows, as we've already talked about. McDonald's, we don't have a report, but I've been informed here that Wendy's is also in the arrears on their escrow.
Oh, okay.
So
That's good to know, because we're in the process of drafting that resolution.
John and I spent a bunch of time on the phone this afternoon about it.
Yes, we did. And in fact, depending on how much in arrears, someone should be sending out a stop work notice to all the board professionals, or because if we didn't know this until Bruce, you just said that, and we have to be told to stop work, or we're going to keep on working, and we're going to then create a situation where right now we're not going to get paid for working.
Let me check and see if Shannon put totals in the email.
Because John, what we could do did you see the email I sent to Alan Loker this afternoon? That it's been whatever time it was. Well, I could just go quickly to that
Yeah,
tomorrow.
why don't you
By the way,
reply all and tell them?
yeah, but I mean, it'd be nice to have an amount, I guess,
Yes.
too. That's the one we don't have. I don't think we have. You know,
There's no amount, no, it just says McDonald's and Wendy's are both in arrears. And that she's reached out to both.
so should I?
Yeah, Mike, you absolutely. And if he says how much, say, I don't know, call up the CFO.
So we don't have, okay.
Right, and
I-
Amy, you can call the attorney for McDonald's, who was riding me last month because we didn't adopt a resolution, and say, hey, not for nothing, but you owe escrow. We did you a big favor. We adopted it, but they told me I can't sign it. They told me I can't give it to you, and they told me I can't publish it until you pay the escrow.
Okay,
You should thank your lucky stars that we adopted it.
I will use those words.
But she'll sound much sweeter when she
I'll
does
put a
it.
smiley face
I bet
emoji.
she will.
Is there anything the board needs to do regarding, Wendy's?
Nope.
Nope, okay. So, is there an affordable housing update?
Nope.
No affordable housing update,
Yeah, I have a
There's
question.
questions.
okay?
It seems to me like the building that they're building closest to Greenwich Street has been raised. And am I not seeing something? I haven't
No.
actually gone over and stood next to it.
It hasn't been raised, that's the way it was approved, because what's gonna happen. Right, that corner building is certainly elevated.
Yeah.
But from adjacent grade, I mean, you can see the side slopes that they
Yeah.
go up and so, okay. The way that site was designed was that the entire area for all the buildings is almost at the same elevation. So in an effort to accommodate that and to accomplish that, that was the low spot on the site. So to make that building pad be very similar to all the other building pads around for the other 6 buildings in the community center, it required a decent fill. So basically all the roof lines and all the finished floor elevations are gonna be similar, at a similar elevation. But, I mean, I have doubled to, when I saw it going up, I questioned it myself. I mean, we all drive by there a lot, I'm sure. And I went to the office and rechecked the plans. I'm like, okay, I don't know if we have plans here, I could show you, but there's a slope going up for that building, especially, that's the worst case, if you want to call it that.
So they'll have to do a bit of contouring of the
Buffering.
land all
Yeah,
around it.
there's a significant amount of buffering that will go in that area. So,
Any other questions on affordable housing?
No.
Okay, then, excuse me, we have someone from the public here?
I have a question.
Can you step forward and identify yourself?
I'm Elizabeth Morbido. I'm at 328 Greenwich Street, across the street. For the low income homes, how are you dividing the residents in there? Because coming from Port Amboy, I keep away from that, I don't want that in my town. So how would we bring in that in? I know that I haven't been to the meetings, I work as a bus driver, so I'm always on the road, but this is my first time coming to the meeting.
Did you hear that, John? Can you,
I heard it.
well, I mean, low income it's basically, they
Okay,
have.
Bruce, I'll give the legal answer is every municipality in the state of New Jersey is obligated to provide for its fair share of the region's need for low and moderate income housing. And so Greenwich is doing what the state has required of it. And Greenwich, in my opinion, has done it in a much smarter way than a lot of other municipalities. Municipalities, there's about 10 ways that you can comply. There's 2 main ways. One is called inclusionary zoning, where you would have to, if, let's say the municipality's obligation was 100 units of affordable housing. The way to do it inclusionary, where it doesn't directly cost the municipality anything, but it ends up costing them, is you would have to zone for 5 times 100. You'd have to zone a site for 500 units and then have 20% set aside, 100 units for low and moderate income housing. So you have 400 market rate units with additional kids going to school, additional drain on your fire department, additional strain on your police department, and then 100 affordable units. What the township has done is they had a 100% affordable housing project. They had to agree to municipally sponsor it, so they would have been on the hook if the developer didn't get funding, and they had to give the developer the land for $1, but the developer had to pay to get it constructed. The developer's in charge of renting them all out. And in essence, they didn't have to zone for 5 times the amount of that number. They have this 100% affordable housing project. So the fact that people might not want low and moderate income housing in their township legally is irrelevant, and people shouldn't be saying that because they might actually think that the township thinks that, and that could be used against the township in the next round of affordable housing, which is going to start in July of 2025. That's my answer.
What about transportation for the students? How are we working that out? Is that going
That's up to the
with,
Board of Education.
we don't have enough bus drivers right now on the road.
Listen, that's up to the Board of Education. Do you work for the Board of Education, or do you work for a private contractor?
I drive for a bus company. I'm one of the
Right.
bus drivers.
Right, but you drive for a bus company or you drive directly for the Board of Education?
I drive for a bus company.
Right, that's up to the Board of Education and their contracts with bus companies.
Okay, so that basically us taxpayers are paying more money for that then too, right?
Well, put it this way, if they didn't do this 100% project and they had to zone for 5 times the amount, the taxpayers would be paying a lot more.
Well, we're paying a lot more right now, with having them coming down the road, dumping garbage on our streets and stuff like that.
What kind of garbage is going to be dumped on the street by residents of 100% affordable housing project, which is managed by a very reputable firm that does these 100% projects all over the state of New Jersey? You think that these people are more likely to dump garbage than other people that own their homes?
Out of respect, yes.
Well, I happen to disagree with you strenuously.
Well, then we do have a disagreement, but yes.
Yes, we do. And I bet I'll be right, and let's find out after the units are occupied.
When you live in Port Amboy, where I live, you'll see the difference where this town's gonna go down, due to respect to you, sir.
And
Yeah.
then if that's the case, that's going to happen to every single municipality in the state of New Jersey.
I'm not gonna argue with you. You think you're right, but I'm just stating my state. Have a good day.
You too.
No one else, so if there's nothing else, then I'll ask for the all important motion to adjourn. Wait a minute, Eric, you got something?
Well, only the issue that was brought up earlier about the B2 zone and what do we need John to do?
No,
any-
no, you have,
Okay.
there's nothing, nope, you don't.
Done. Got
The committee does.
I know that, but I didn't know if there's a memo,
No.
something. Okay,
Nope,
I got
that's, Paul has said that it also should have been the B2. Well, Paul's saying that he's giving general information so the board knows about it, but he's saying that with his governing body hat on. And the governing body, if that's how they feel, they're gonna have to do something about it.
yeah, so, I like that, okay, good, I'm done.
Yeah, I make a motion to adjourn. Mark? Joe for second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, abstain, opposed? None.
All right,
All right, thank you,
thank
folks.
you, everyone.
Didn't quite make
Bye-bye,
it.
everybody.
Take care.
See you, John.